Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, March 20th, and for many of us, it's the start of the second week of enforced working at home. What else is strange about it? It's a nice, supposedly early spring day, and where I am sitting here looking out my window, the ground is covered with snow, and the snow continues to fall. Everything just seems so abnormal that it's kind of remarkable. But we're doing what we can and we're getting along. And fortunately for us, we were planning on doing this course online anyway, so we're going to go ahead and continue with exactly the experience we had planned. But moving all our day courses at both Post and many other institutions into the online format is proving to be an interesting experience, challenge for students and instructors alike. And maybe it just might be a turning point in how we see and view the mode of delivery in education in many ways. Those of you who have done quite a bit of your education online are already familiar with the process. Those of you who haven't, this may be new to you, and I assure you there are lots of people out there who haven't been exposed to this, and this is finally their enforced exposure to it, and I just think it may change a lot of minds. In which direction, I don't know. So, very interesting times for all of us. Back to our course. I was very appreciative of the breadth and depth of the discussion in week 2. It's an interesting topic, as I had said in my introductory video last week. I may be the only person in the room with a vivid, direct memory of the entire Cold War era. It kind of shaped my growing up, the attitudes that were prevalent. And so when I first saw that topic for discussion, I really toyed with the idea of changing it. And I also thought maybe there might not be a lot of people with military experience, and I thought of changing it. But then last term, I went ahead and let it go, and it turned out to be so interesting. I've obviously let it go again, and you folks have done just a really super job in responding to it. And you can see, though, I think it is a really clear indication of two fundamentally different approaches to managing organizations. And one of them is what our readings and our text and our other resources referred to as the mechanistic approach. Some people call it a hierarchical approach. Some people call it a command and control methodology. But what it is that rigid structure where everyone knows their role, performs their role, doesn't really stray out of their role, and we trust that the roles have been well defined up front and that the situation that we are addressing has been well enough understood that those role definitions are correct. Those levels of authority are appropriate, and the decisions will get made in not only a timely manner but an effective manner. Then we now have situations like the one we're living through right now. Things are changing rapidly, hourly. We talked about military situations. Well, strategy is laid out, and then you've got to go on the ground. In a combat situation, things change rapidly, unexpectedly, okay, requiring immediate decisions, immediate application of your training, immediate decisive action, okay? You can't wait for command and control to kick in. What do you do? I even threw an example of several people in a large retail setting for years. We threw in the Walmart example where, as I said, I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but at one point in their development, they allowed local managers price changing authority. Unheard of in a hierarchical organization. But they did because that authority was able to produce a better customer experience in a local market. Radical concept, scary concept to some. Working from home this week, we see in a lot of organizations that this is a new concept. Scary to some, liberating to others. Some people are saying, wow, I really have to trust my employees. Some employees are saying, wow, finally my employer has to trust me. Some are actually saying, oh my God, there's nobody in the room down the hall to give me direction. I don't know what to do next, and I can't get an instant answer. That side of it's there too. it's a very new experience for everybody. So I think the discussion in the material was really, really insightful. Now we're going to move to a bigger issue, if there can be one. And we're going to talk about this week about corporate culture, organizational culture. And as I may have alluded to for many of you, I come from an athletic background. And in sports, I can't tell you how many times I pick up the newspaper and see that, especially on the highest level of professional sports in this country, something like the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, and a new coach or manager is hired, and the first thing they come in and say, I'm going to change the culture around here. Wow, what a statement. What a task. And I'm not certain it's something that any one individual can do. Unless the organization is a one-person show, changing culture is tough. Understanding culture is tough. How culture develops is something that's very complex and has been going on and occurs over time, and it has been going on almost since the beginning of recorded time. All right? Culture is that big. But it defines how we organize to do things, it defines how we do things, and in many cases it defines the results we expect. So this week you're going to be looking at culture and its development. I really want you to look at it in a big picture point of view, right? And then attempt to translate it down to an organization, maybe the one you work for, the ones you understand, places you have worked, maybe even things outside of your business and professional life, but look at it, say, with some kind of activity you belong to or association or even your family. Every organizational group has a culture. And it's going to be something I think that we need to keep in mind as we go through the rest of our careers. So that's really where we are this week. Big picture this week coming up, okay? Not that last week wasn't, but we have to think even bigger. And we have to understand what the subject is all about and the serious nature of it. Because it does have a lot to do with direct business consequences. This is not fuzzy-headed, touchy-feely stuff. Culture decides how you use employees, how you use resources, how you treat people, how you treat your customers, how you decide what a product is going to be. It's supported by the values of the organization. It dictates the strategy of the organization. It's that important. It's one of the biggest issues you'll face in your career. So I'm looking forward to this week's work. I cannot guarantee you that I can grade everything with the speed at which last week got done. I tried to do everything as quickly as I could. This week it's going to be a little harder with more of my on-site materials having come online. And that is a couple other classes and posts that I was teaching on campus are now online. And if you're going to do it right, I'll be very honest with you, teaching online is much more time consuming than teaching on campus is, because of the nature of how we have to communicate with students and the nature with which we have to go through assessments and everything. I can't see every one of you right away. And I can't read body language. I can't read attention. I can only read what you sent in the discussion and in your papers. So I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. I'm going to try to be as fair and as helpful as I can, and that will continue. So, yes, I think I can get through it by the appointed time. I would like to have everything done by Wednesday. Be prepared if it spills into Thursday morning a little bit. Okay, if there are any questions for anything, still, please contact me. I've heard from several of you. This is a time when other people, everybody may need a little bit of help. Something may be going on. The circumstances are unusual. I am aware of that. The university is aware of that. Take advantage of us. Don't take advantage of us. Take advantage of the services. Take advantage of everything that we offer you for academic support. And let's make sure that we continue to have a great educational experience. Thank you very much.